life, you get lucky. So I was thinking that I was a little slow. Then I looked at everybody else. I said, oh man, they ain't getting it. I mean, tell the truth. I said, the people, they're not getting it. They don't get nothing. They just go to work. The Quran said they eat like they cattle. They almost got their head down. They're not looking up and around. All they're doing is eating and living their day-to-day life. They're looking at their little piece of the globe. That's right in front of them. So I thought I was slow till I looked at everybody else. Okay. Stuff we're going to do around here just quickly. Project management, to-do list, job description, peaceful, significant action. Same thing. But we're not going to get mad and go off the handle. We want to influence in the direction of change for good. That's peaceful, significant action. We already know about COINTEL program, drugs to destroy the black movement, Black Lives Matter. We already can see that they're managed and they're controlled. We already see the Standard News is controlled and managed. We see that the alternative media, the alternative news is controlled and managed. We don't see any avenue of light coming to the minds of the people. They have to read the Quran, they have to read history. I suggest our policy: Quran, Hadith, history, and your own environmental circumstances. Why would somebody want to make you the boogeyman? And how would they do it? And does it work? Yes. So they may say, we do this, we might lose 40% of that. So 60% of the time, we're going to make them niggas the boogeyman. And it's going to happen, right? So if it's 60-40, they're going to take 60 every time. Right. So what? 2-3 people know it ain't true. A few people, as long as they're not acting on it, who cares? Right. So right now, the Republicans, how could they sit there and talk that stuff in the world we're in now, and the people aren't saying, good God Almighty. I mean, that's a little controversy in the news, but they should be arrested for insanity. They should be put at St. Elizabeth over there, the crazy house. Right. They should be in St. Elizabeth. Everybody are Republicans, and then they ought to have the doggone Democrats keep watch over them, and we watch the Democrats. Right? In other words, all of them is crazy. Okay. We went into the teaching process, but there are some ideas I have in mind. For instance, like I have relatives that are still good contact with the big churches. And let's call it niche number one is really a systems person, because one of our family members is a judge in Arkansas. And I was listening when I went to the big church in California. I bought all the CDs and DVD, all the stuff for the last week. They got an office, and you go in there, and they got all the old stuff on sale for 50 cents a piece. So I buy a whole stack of boxes of it. So and I listen to it when I'm on the way back, traveling. And then I hear niche number one. And this so-and-so and so-and-so is introducing, this is at the big show in the church, Mr. Negro judge from Arkansas. And she's proud of that judge. He's a damn fool. He's my relative. But the man is not a criminal, but you have to be part criminal to participate in this system and know it ain't working. Right? A judge knows this is bullcrap.
Right. Yeah.
They know that. They know that this is nothing like the law books. It's nothing like Constitution. They already know that. So they have to, just imagine, we can get videos and flyers, and we can have them reintroduce us to the churches and what have you. That's a possibility. In fact, that's what we're shooting for. That's why we're telling you right now. Okay, reintroduce your poor uncle to the church. See, because every time we have a funeral at the big church back there, the biggest church in Oakland, I speak there. It's a family, but I speak it. So everybody, they still have the same respect as always. But they don't understand that we're on a whole different plane. Okay. Continue shooting of black people. Okay. Unity, organization. System response to racism. Vigilantes. We can see how all that's working. But unity, organization, focus, discipline. In the long run, the people have to be organized and focused and an agenda to get to where they want to go. It's not haphazard. We keep calling on people to, this come out. But this nonviolent resistance and this alternative resistance means that that's the work we have to do. We don't need to talk about no knock, stop and frisk, law and order. The Patriot Act, that new Patriot Act stuff they come up with 10, 15, 20 years ago, just wipes all that no knock, stop. They can snatch an info up and do anything they want with it. Nowadays, and they don't have to answer to nobody. Okay. We'll deal with some of the other details about to-do list, project management, and what have you. As time passed, we just wanted to deal with this because watching the news, we just had to comment.
Right, yeah.
And one thing I want to remind people, that we're going to be very careful about Dick Gregoryism. You remember Dick Gregory, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Dick Gregory, he was a conspiracy man.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't get him until all the way until I got those 30 lectures of Malcolm X. So in 1964, he was talking about the FBI and all of that, and he was correct. And then I didn't know about, I was overseas dealing with Muhammad Babu. Can you look up Muhammad Babu? He was a Tanzanian, Muhammad Babu. He was active with Malcolm X a little bit. And when I was living with this brother that was a part of Kwame Nkrumah's administration from Ghana, he was a Tanzanian minister. When I went there, he was from Zanzibar.
Yeah.
Urban renewal and rural development, something. But that was like 50 years ago.
Right, yeah. He's a Zanzibar-born Marxist and Pan-Africanist nationalist who played an important role in the 1964 Zanzibar Revolution, served as a minister under Julius Nyerere. Yep. After the island was merged with mainland Tanganyika to
Tanzania.
Yeah, so he was jailed by Nyerere from 1972, and after his release, following an international campaign, remained a vocal critic of imperialism, authoritarian states, excessively statist, as well as private capitalist development models.
You know, you see that 1972?
Uh-huh.
When I went back to Africa during those years, Pete told me, he said, Babu had a job for you. And I was lucky that I missed. Because they put him in jail, and they put all the other, a lot of other Negroes in jail, especially African American. It's a long story. But Babu, see if you can, Kofi Bashar, K-O-F, Kofi Bashar, from Ghana. He was a PhD from Ghana. I think he got his PhD in 1956 from Massachusetts somewhere. Kofi Bashar. He was Kwame Nkrumah's press secretary. He's mentioned in Malcolm X's book. The last time I heard about it was a few years back. I spoke at my brother-in-law's funeral, and I mentioned something about Africa, and they have ministers from around the world, and he's a minister from Ghana.
Does he have like another name, like Kofi Annan? Is that another?
Not Kofi Annan, no.
Okay.
Kofi Bashar. B-A-S-H-A-R, something like that.
Yeah, maybe I need to put 2 A's. I know sometimes they spell it with 2 A's.
Or if you could look, Kwame Nkrumah's press secretary.
All right, let me try that.
He's mentioned in Malcolm's book. But anyway, the point is that I was associated with all of those guys. I learned about colonialism from Kofi Bashar. You know, he taught me, and also Muhammad Babu. In other words, I learned from the top people about colonialism. All that stuff I learned, and then it was so surreal. Because Kofi Bashar, I lived with him for a while in Algeria. See, when your leader gets put out of a country, then you gotta go, you would later, you're not Africa. Yeah. If he gotta go, you gotta go too. So he worked for the radio and station, I think, in Algeria. And
I don't see him yet. They got someone else listed. Let's see.
Kofi Bashar.
Press secretary. Yeah, Sam Morris, they had him listed as a press secretary, or press officer. In this case, let me see if I can.
Well, that's okay. I think you can find it later. The point was about Babu and those people and Dick Gregory. What I was talking about was Dick Gregory.
Yeah.
Dick Gregory in later years, he was right a lot, but in later years, everything was a conspiracy, you know, like why they use red lipstick, it represents the vagina and the slit in there and all that. So, although it's probably true, he didn't keep close enough to the people when they're thinking to ease them along. I watched Dick Gregory, and I believed almost all of it. He passed away a few years ago, but he would be right. But the people thought of him as kind of like not off, but like out there. So this personal management, where you science fiction management stuff, that type of thing. We have to control it and ourselves so that we call it Dick Gregoryism, where we don't, go out there beyond their ability to perceive what we're talking about. And that's difficult. Because see, if stuff is happening to me all the time, I'm going way out there. You know what I mean? And I'm out there. I'm out there. But I have to slow it down and break it down so that I can't use any conspiracy theories So it's happening like that. I have to use everything you see. Everything is written.
Right.
And when I say so-and-so did certain thing, they did that. So I can almost produce the paperwork to prove anything I say. So that it's not, and I have enough of that. That was a great trick to trap boss man into doing all this stuff on the surface. So he done did 100 things, but all I needed was 10 things to show what's happening, and he done did 25 that I can prove. I don't need them, right? That I can show this, that. And that's a great relief, because in this type of lifestyle, no matter what, you want to be believable. And these conspiracy traps, where they call a conspiracy theory almost anything. They can't call our stuff conspiracy theories because we're going to stay close. You know what I mean? You said, what? Okay, here it is. On this date, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, it's a conspiracy. Well, here's what they did. The system did this. Here is the order from the government. They did this, they did that, they did da-da-da-da-da. Right? And if the FBI came here, I can prove that they came here because they came to the house first.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I can't prove all of what the other stuff, but I can prove they did come by here. Now, you can believe I'm telling you what they said and what they did. But I can prove that they was here. You see what I mean?
Yep.
I prove that. Okay? So, anyway, we're careful with Dick Gregoryism. We don't want to, we don't want our stuff labeled as conspiracy theories, because we're not talking about no theory.
Right.
Everything we talk about, hold it, we got it. We got it on record, right? We got it on paper. We got it all over the place, just to make sure that nobody's going to try to. No, we got it. You know, you have to double up on it. Anyway, are there any questions or any comments at all?
There was a few brothers gave the salams. Let me check. A couple of new comments came in on the video we put up on Tuesday. Did you have time to answer? Well, this is a China comment. Someone said, you mentioned some things about China, and someone said that China got the Muslims in concentration camps. You know, that's something that.
Okay, the Uyghurs.
Yeah, the Uyghurs. Yeah, that must be who she's talking about.
Who said that?
She's a regular. It's I think she's a Muslim sister, Susan Smith. That's the name on the on Facebook.
Well, watch what the Chinese say about that. What about the other minorities in China that are Muslims? What about all that? So-called Arab countries, Iranians, everybody that's visited them and having that. So that's one thing to think about. I will answer that shortly, but briefly, I would say is, if the West say they're doing something, first of all, be skeptical Ask simple questions, like if they're in prisons, how many schools have the government built in China? How many people go in China, go to Turkmenistan, whatever they call it? How many people go there and visit to see those places? Or do they take the escapees, the people who escape from there and they come here and then they say that's what's happening in China, right? It's like the people that run off from Cuba. Cuba is terrible, this, that, another. Okay, so they might take the Kool-Aid test. They may take one package and they may make a whole gallon out of it. They take one little package, right? And they make a whole gallon of Kool-Aid. In other words, they stretch it and they make it beyond belief. I would say this about Uyghurs. You have to look at what happened to the Russians too. Saudi Arabia treated, in Chechnya, Saudi Arabia hit them people real deadly. So the Chechens now, the people from Saudi Arabia was hitting them so hard. It's like Boko Haram. If you see Alama Zakzaki and his crew developing in Nigeria, then all of a sudden, right, Boko Haram pops up. Who's Boko Haram? Where do they get their money? Why are all of those people super financed? If you have Daesh, ISIL, Islamic State, and all those guys, how can they pop up with all of them in new white trucks riding in one direction? All of them brand new Toyota trucks. It's because Saudi Arabia is backing it. In Nigeria, Saudi Arabia is backing Boko Haram. If they want to scare the Chinese, they'll have a few people inside of China, inside of the Uyghurs. Remember those Uyghurs down here in, what's the name of that place? Guantanamo?
Okay.
Right. So they'll make the Chinese paranoid. And so then the Chinese say, hey man,